Hey folks, Levi here once again. I hope you enjoyed my revisit review of the first MCU movie, Marvel Cinematic Universe movie Iron Man, starring Robert Downey Jr. And I'd like to welcome you guys back to another revisit review. This film came out in June. Um, yeah, it was I think June 13th when it came out. Let's see, yeah, came out in June of 2008. This movie is another MCU movie, Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. This is the second film in the MCU. I love this movie. I think this is super underrated. This is I call it the black sheep of the Marvel franchise, MCU franchise, because a lot of people don't talk about it. It gets overlooked, and I think it's really underrated. It's probably one of the most underrated superhero movies I think out there. It's definitely one of my favorites. I would even call it one of the best because it's such a good movie. It doesn't have the greatest story in the world, but it's very entertaining. I think this is the best Hulk movie out there, and of course I'm talking about starring Edward Norton, Liv Tyler, Tim Roth, and the late William Hurt, and Tim Blake Nelson, and that is The Incredible Hulk. I love this film. This is the film on Blu-ray. Yeah, you got the Hulk there with his yelling when he goes into the New York City battle with the Abomination, and you guys battle with the Abomination right there. Very cool shot. I love the artwork there. And you got Betty and Bruce running, and Bruce turning into the Hulk while trying to get cure, and Bruce having to deal with some bullies. Where he's in another country. This is the Blu-ray of it. You do get special features like Comic Gallery, Thunderbolt files. You get the making of the making of the movie behind becoming the Hulk, becoming the Abomination. How about the hey they made these characters on screen? And yes, this is the Blu-ray, really cool Blu-ray. Now I do remember when this movie came out. My grandma, not the one that died that passed away this year. No, back in 2000, on my dad's side of the family that passed away, we went on a cruise ship to bury her ashes at sea. Um, but when we did that at the time, we were kind of on vacation too, paying our respects to my Grammy and stuff. But my dad and brother, we saw this on a movie on the cruise ship in theater. But I remember they gave us some popcorn and stuff, and it was a fun little theater. I didn't get to see this movies at the time because I think my Grammy passed away around June 2009 or something like that, or May. I can't remember, but I guess it was a year after. Anyway, I didn't get to see this movie in theaters. I wish I did, and to this day, I love this movie. I'll defend it. This is underrated. This is a lot better movie than Annalise Hulk. Why? Because number one, it's not boring. It has a good story. I love the look of Hulk. I don't care what nobody says. I was watching like Icons on Earth or something. They were talking about this movie, and some people say I don't disagree, saying the Hulk was like crap. No, he doesn't. I wanted to slap those idiots on there and say, "Have you seen Annalise Hulk? He's an Asian Hulk. He's an Asian Shrek. He looks terrible." Yeah, everything that movie did wrong, this movie got 100% right, including story. Yeah, and it's better than most Marvel movies. I think it's better. I'd rather watch it than the Venom movies. I'd rather watch over Morbius, Madam Web. Yeah, or some of the new X-Men movies, including Origins Wolverine. They came out the year later after this. If we're talking about Marvel live action, I think this was the X-Men Origins Wolverine did come out the next year. Yeah, that's a lot better than this. You know that this movie's a lot better, and it's better than most of the recent MCU movies. Like I could watch this over Eternals. Eternals I heard wasn't very good, or X-Men Dark Phoenix, or X-Men Apocalypse. This is better than those, or better than some DC movies that came out. It's definitely better than Batman and Robin, even though I like it's way better. Better than some of those superhero movies that came out in 1997, including Spawn and Still and Super Power Rangers movie. So no, I don't get why this movie gets so much hate. I remember watching Icons on Earth. Some old man said something to Lou Ferrigno. Some guy said something like, "Your Hulk is better. That Hulk sucked." I'm like, dude, have you seen Annalise Hulk? Have you seen? Yeah, Lou Ferrigno. Speaking of Lou Ferrigno, yeah, remember his Hulk died in the Death of the Incredible Hulk. Remember how lame that movie was? Yeah, I'm gonna say it was a lame movie in my opinion. Honestly, think about it now, I don't even like Death of the Incredible Hulk anymore. That was I would say second worst Hulk movie. The worst is still Annalise Hulk though. She Hulk sucks, but that's not a movie. That's a TV show. That's better than that show, by the way. Yeah. So I don't get why this gets so much hate, but that's just me personally. I don't get it, but that's just me personally. Need some water. Sorry. I know it's been getting cold and it's getting warm, and it feels cold and warm in here. Go outside, it's cold, and here it feels warm inside. Anyway, let's get into the production of it. Like I said, this was the second film. This came out right a month after Iron Man, so maybe they did kind of rush it. I guess Marvel somewhat maybe was on a gamble saying, and Iron Man, they were right. Iron Man was successful, but maybe they could have waited to 2009 for this film to come out. The writers of the film were influenced by the TV series of the show of the same name. Example when Banner is testing himself. So they pay some respect to the show, but it's not like they disrespect it or anything. But after the release of Annalise Hulk, screenwriter James Schamus was planning a sequel which could continue the story featuring the Grey Hulk. He was also considered the leader and the Abomination as villains. Marvel wanted the Abomination because he would be an actual threat to the Hulk, and unlike General Ross or Bruce's father, Nick Nolte, who's over the top, yeah, the Abomination is more of a threat in here than Absorbing Man. And actually, the action scenes in here you could see clearly because everything in that movie is just pitch black dark when the fight scenes come. During the filming of Hulk, though, producer Avard had a target May 2005 release date. On January 18, 2006, Avard confirmed Marvel Studios will be providing the money for the Incredible Hulk's production budget with the Universal Studios. See, they wanted to make a sequel, but since that whole movie sucked and a lot of people, like, including me, probably didn't like it. I'm talking about when it came out. Probably was not well received when it came out, and for a good reason. Heck, I was a little kid when I saw that movie, and I got confused by it. I didn't really get it. I was underwhelmed by it. So I could see why they held production for a good while. Because Universal did not meet the deadline for filming a sequel, Marvel felt it would be better to devastate from Annalise style to continue the franchise, arguing his film was a comparative universe one-shot comic book, and their next film needed to be, in Kevin Feige words, really stating the Marvel's Hulk franchise. Producer Gail and Hurd also felt the film had to meet what everyone expects to see from having read the comics and seen the TV series. Pre-production Louis Lolo, who enjoyed the TV series as a child and liked the first film, had expressed interest in directing Iron Man film adaptation. Jon Favreau had taken that project, so Marvel offered him the Hulk. Later was reluctant as he wasn't sure if he could replicate Lee's style, but Marvel explained that that was not their intent, which is a good thing. It's cool if he's a fan of it, but I'm glad they didn't want him to. Later's primary inspiration was G. Loeb, Hulk's Grey, retelling of the character's first appearance. He replicated every comic book panel that he penned up during pre-production for the mini comics he prose in the final film. Later had that showed that he planned to show Bruce Banner's struggle with the monster within him. While Feige added the film would explore that element of overcoming an injustice of a bully or a bully tipping into strength that you didn't quite realizing you had in yourself. And also said the film would be a lot more love story between Bruce and Betty. In May 2006, Era left Marvel Studios to become an independent producer because he was on staff when the deal was made with Incredible. He retained producer credit on the film. Zach Penn, who wrote the draft of the first film in 1996, said the film would follow Hulk, but it's supposed to be more strictly similar to the TV show and Bruce Jones run to the comics. He compared the script to Aliens, which was a very different from Alien, but still the same continuity. He included two scenes from the 1969 script. Banner jumping from a helicopter to career transformation and realizing he's unable to have sex with Betty. After the studio rejected the treatment by another screenwriter in 2006, Penn wrote their drafts for departing in early 2007 to promote this film. Edward Norton began discussions to play Banner in April 2006. They arranged a deal that included him as both actor and a writer with a screenplay draft. He was considerably uploaded to turn in with a month. He did so and continued to polish his draft as late as halfway through principal photography. In November 2006 and 2008, release date was set. Later knowledge the only remaining similarity between the two films was Bruce hiding in South Africa, America, and that the film was a unique reboot. A general audience would have expected another 40-minute origin story. There were previous discussions to set the first act in Thailand. Theater for audience were left restless waiting for the character to arrive in Emily's Hope in Emily's film. Fish committed, we didn't want to tell the origin story again. Which is a good idea. There is no origin story in this film. We didn't need that. So that was definitely a good idea. Because we thought people would were so familiar with it, which is why we didn't tell it. So they wanted to give us a different kind of Hulk movie with this, which is why we didn't tell that. One reason we made Incredible Hulk was to get Hulk into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Then the film occurs at Columbia University, and, and Leiter was instead naming it Empire State University as a reference to Peter Parker, was able to sense Sony Pictures controls the film rights to Spider-Man. At the time, they did. This is before Marvel officially bought the rights of Spider-Man. Shortly after the release of the Incredible Hulk, Gil and Hurd commented It was a relationship with another Hulk film. We couldn't quite figure out how much to term of this. It's kind of a reboot and it's kind of a sequel. Heard said a requel. It was basically a reboot. Norton explained his decision to ignore Lee's origin story. I don't even like the phrase origin story, and I don't think it's a great literature and great films that explain the roots of the story doesn't mean it comes in the beginning. Audiences know the story he had, which is true. Deal with it artfully. He wanted to have revelations, even the third act, about what set the whole thing in motion. The new origin story represents Ultimate Marvel's take on the Hulk, which had him created an attempt to make super soldiers. Norton removed Rick Jones and toned down Shield's presence. He also added the scene where Banner attempts to extract a cure from a flower in emailing with Samuel Stearns, which references Bruce Banner, Bruce, Bruce Jones' story. Norton rewrote scenes every day. I know they had trouble or some issues with him behind the scenes. I guess some egos collided. I heard about Norton's behavior on set. But despite that, though, I do think he was committed to actually making a good Hulk movie. Sometimes actors just have egos. There's been plenty of actors on superhero films or comic films that egos clash sometimes, or people who don't get along. Ultimately, the Writers Guild of America decided to credit the script to Penn, who argued Norton had not dramatically changed the script. Journalist Anna Thompson explained the guild tends to favor plot. Penn said in 2008, I wasn't happy when Norton come to Comic Con saying he wrote the script. Before either Penn or Norton joined the project, an anonymous screenwriter wrote a draft and allowed it for credit filming. Allowed him to direct for 4 units with a broken foot. Filming began on July 9, 2007, took place in Toronto, because Mayor David Miller is a Hulk fan and promised to be very helpful to the crew in closing Yogo Street for 4 nights in September to shoot Hulk and Blonsky's climactic fight. Despite messing up the street with explosives and return burning, the crew would clean it up within 20 minutes so business could continue as normal each day. The first sequence shot was the Clover University battle. The filmmakers put a glass over a walkway for when the soldiers trapped Banner inside to smoke him out. A factory in Hamilton, which was due for demolition, was the interior of the Brazilian factory. The sites on the ground floors were used for Ross's military command center. The crew also shot part of the Hogan and Blonsky's fight on a battle lot in Hamilton. Other Canadian locations included CBD Trenton and Glacier and Bella. Afterwards, there was a week-long shoot in New York City and 2 weeks in Rio. They shot some other countries too. The trailer became the first blockbuster to receive the Emerald Media Association's Green Seal. 70 minutes of footage, mostly dealing with the origin, were not included in the final cut. Most of the backstory was unscripted, and the filmmakers were never sure of the final cut. Editor Kyle Cooper created the Marvel logo with the flipping pages detailing Iron Man's biography of that film. Later explained a negative test screen where flashbacks were placed across the film. Audience found too similar to Hulk. Have a little comparison to head to the film's start. This replaced the original opening where Banner comes to the Ark and commits suicide. When the scene ends, an instant frozen body of Captain America seen in the ice. Letter said he did not want the scene to be lost in the opening montage. Norton and Lover disputed with the producers over the final running time. They wanted to be nearly 135 minutes long, but the producers wanted the film to be under 2 hours. This was made public, and rumors spread that Norton made it clear he won't cooperate with plans if he's not happy with the final product. Norton dismissed this, which it should be a matter. I don't know if there was issues there. I heard, but I wasn't there on the set of this movie, so I don't know if there was ego clash and if they have problems with Norton the writers and the filmmakers have some problems. I don't know. I might hear stuff, but I'm not gonna say I believe it. I like the way Abomination looks. He looks great, by the way. The Abomination looks awesome. Looks threatening. He looks menacing. It's not terrible CGI like in Goring Man. Later cities anti-circus motion capture of the King Kong of Golem and King Kong as he was trying to aiming for it. Norton and Ruth filmed 250 takes of different movements and the monsters would take, such as the Hulk's thunderclap. They prosthetic face paint applied to the actors' faces. Lighting would help record the most. So it is CGI though, and computer. This is 2008, by the way. This, as the main actors had done video referencing, latter hired rhythm and used to provide the CGI rather than industrial light magic. They created the visual effects for Annalise Hulk. They did it better this time. Yeah. Latter felt the first Hulk had too much fat, and he prefers to wear a little off. Yeah, I agree, he was fat. The Hulk is beyond perfect, so there is 0 grams of fat, and his muscle strength defines the creature, so he's like a tank. Kurt Williams, the Hulk's physique, a linebacker rather than a bodybuilder. A height of 9 feet was chosen for the character. They did not want to be too inhuman. To make him more expressive, computer controlling, the Hulk's mane and hair was modeled on Mike Dieter's art. Later succeeded in the American War of London as the inspiration for Banner's transformation. Wonder how painful it was for him to change. As now live action TV series, Banner's eyes changed color when he transformed. Later changed the abomination survived from the comics because he felt the audience would question why he resembled a fish or a reptile. Instead of a human like the Hulk, rather his city is devoured from being injected multiple times in his skin, muscles, and bones. Creating a creature with a spine and sharp bones that he can use to stab. His green skin is pale and reflects light. They use product makeup and animatronics to complete the computer generated measure that was still used in the previous film. The makeup artists who worked on X-Men Last Stand were said to portray Polanski's gradual transformation. Sad Penn said, would Polanski not being used to have these properties? I'm just reading a little bit. Norton was attached to a surface held by a barber turned 90 degrees. Literally, joke remarked that making Norton fall that distance rendered him unable to act. The score for the movie was by Greg Armstrong. For the marketing of the movie, they had commercial. You had the trailer and a teaser trailer and a TV spot for the movie. Just TV spots and Burger King had sold toys for the movie, like some Hot Toys and Abomination toys, just to market the film. Like I said, trailers, TV spots. They even had they had like airheads or whatever. You could buy Hulk airheads or whatever just to market the movie. And of course, like the first movie, you had a video game. They had a video game based on the movie. Never played the game before. Based on PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, Xbox, the Wii. For the gameplay though, I know it's an action adventure game in which the players control the Hulk in an open world. The Hulk has attacks and abilities that unlock and improve the player progress throughout the game. Where you're defeating enemies, the Hulk has the ability to regenerate any health loss from enemy attacks and can also heal by collecting green canisters scattered throughout the city. Raging creatures when the Hulk gets inflict damage and attacks enemies, or he himself is attacked. Yeah, various attacks. So it's the same plot. The game follows the same plot of the movie with Banner running, trying to find a cure, then eventually facing at the end, uh, fighting the abomination at the end. Yeah, but I've never played the game before. Yeah, but for the cast, oh wait, hold on. The Hancock premiered on Gibson in the Universal City of California on June 18th, on June 8th, and June 13th as Phase 1 of Marvel. This is, yeah, it is Phase 1, leading up to the Avengers. The film grossed $265 million worldwide. Production disagreement between Norton and Marvel Studios over the final edit of the film. Norton was replaced by the role of Banner by Marvel in the Avengers 2012 film. Edward Norton as Bruce Banner is a nuclear strategist and biochemist, a scientist who becomes the Hulk and exposed to gamma radiation, turns into the Hulk, so he's on the run in the movie trying to find a cure. And Lou Ferrigno plays, the voice for the Hulk. Hulk, of course. Liv Dollar plays Betty Ross. She's a scientist too. She's Bruce's former girlfriend. She was there when he turned into the Hulk. And, but she still loves Bruce regardless, and she helps him out in the movie. Tim Roth is Emil Blonsky, the Abomination. He's a Russian-born officer. He's a soldier. He comes to, his job is to, his task is to track down Banner, but he becomes obsessed with wanting the Hulk's power, and they give him, you know, super soldier serum, which turns him to the Abomination, and he wants more of the power, and he gets out of control, and then the Hulk has to fight him at the end. In the late William Hurt as Theodos Ross, he's Betty's father. He's the U.S. criminal who wants to capture the Hulk and, get the Hulk's power. I'll explain why. There'll be spoilers in here too. But Edward Norton, I know he's done other movies. Fight Club, people probably know American History X. The Italian Job, I've seen him that. He was the villain in that. He was real good in that. He was in The Born Legacy. He was in Birdman. Uh, Lou Ferrigno, of course, Lou Ferrigno was he played the Hulk, in the 70s, all the makeup and stuff. So along with the late Bill Bixby. Liv Tyler plays Betty Ross. I know she was in That Thing You Do with Tom Hanks. Musical. She was in Armageddon. I remember her in that. And she was in Ran Over Me with Adam Sandler and Don Cheadle. Yeah. Tim Roth. I can't think of any other movies. He did aspire the role though of Emil Blonsky though in Shang-Chi and Legend of the Ten Rings and She-Hulk Attorney at Law. The late William Hurt, who sadly passed away back in 2022. I remember him in Lost in Space since the he was in Lost in Space, One True Thing, a lot of other movies as well. Winter's Tale, Vantage Point, yeah. And I think he was also in Avengers, Infinity War, and Avengers Endgame, and of course he was in Black Widow too. So he did some other Marvel movies. But sadly, he's not going to be in Captain America: Brave New World. He's getting replaced by Harrison Ford, who's going to become like the Red Hulk. Yeah. Then you have Tim Blake Nelson as Samuel Stearns. He's said to return though as Captain America. Oh, I guess as the leader. So I guess leader's a villain in the comics. Tim Blake Nelson. Let's see. I've seen him in well, he was in Scooby Doo Two Monsters Unleashed as Jonathan Jacobo. He was in Our Brother War D with John Toretto and George Clooney. He was in Holes, the Disney movie Holes, with Shia LaBeouf and John Voight and Sigourney Weaver. All right. Ty Burrell as Lenore Sampson, a psychiatrist who's in a relationship with Betty during Bruce's absence. He was in Modern Family, Black Hawk Down, Dawn of the Dead, and Muppets Most Wanted. Robert Downey Jr. has is kind of credited, but he does have a cameo at the end credit scene of the movie. Christina Coppola as Kathleen Spar, a major who is Theodore Sparta's personal aide. Stan Lee has a cameo as the man who becomes ill when drinking the soda poisoned by Banner's blood. Yeah, as y'all know, Stan Lee made a lot of cameos in his Marvel movies. But the film was directed by Louis Litter. Let's see. He directed the Clash Titans remake, which I didn't like. Now You See Me, which was okay. He he oh yeah, he directed Fast 10. I don't care to see that. Now he's gonna make another Fast movie. I'm like, oh my gosh. Hmm. Can't think of any other, but yeah. I wish he would have made more Marvel movies, to be honest. Or made a whole movie written by Zach Penn. Let's see, I've seen her saying 4. Oh, okay, he wrote the script for X2 and X Men Last Stand, which I don't like X Men Last Stand, but you know, he did the story for Last Action Hero with this Arnold Schwarzenegger movie for Men in Black, Ants, and Spider Gadget, which that sucks. Charlie's Angels, the first one, which I like, Behind Enemy Lines, which is a good movie. X2, which I love that movie, my favorite X Men movie. Yeah, he wrote the script for Lecture, and that sucks. X Men Last Stand, I think those movies suck. But I love the Incredible Hulk. He wrote the script for the story for the Avengers, and Ready Player One, and Free Guy starring Ryan Reynolds. It's based on Hulk by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, produced by A.B. Evar, who's produced Marvel movies since Blade in 1998. Gail Anherd, she's worked on film producers of films like The Terminator, Aliens, The Abyss, Armageddon, and Tremors. First one, Terminator 3, and The Punisher 2004 with Thomas Jane, the Thomas Jane version. Hellfest, a horror movie. Cinematography by Peter Mintz Jr. He's done cinematography for like Die Hard with a Vengeance, Lovecraft, the Tomb Raider, and I'm guessing Clash of Titans remake, which again I don't like that movie. A Time to Kill, Hard Rain, I like those movies. Edited by John Wright and Vincent Talban. Uh, he's worked with he edited Passion of the Christ, Last Action Hero, Speed, starring Keanu Reeves, Another superhero movie, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze, came out in 1991. Broken Arrow, Deep Rising, the first X-Men movie. Passion of the Christ, like I said already. Vincent Taliban, he worked on Transporter 2, Taken 2. Yeah. Did he edit that movie? Oh, yeah. That film. So, Greg Armstrong, let's see. Production companies Marvel Studios, Bell Motion Pictures, distributed by Universal Pictures. It was released June 13, 2008, here in the US. It's 20 hours and 52 minutes, only 112 minutes long. The budget was 137.5 million through $150 million. The box office made $265.5 million worldwide. It wasn't a huge hit as Iron Man, and I guess because of the Marvel movies, it didn't make the most money at the time. Excuse me. I guess because people at the time just didn't want to see the movie. Maybe it came out a little too fast. I hate to say it, but maybe it was bad timing for this film to come out. Maybe they would have waited to the next year. I get it, or maybe another month. Like you could have released this film in August or September. You know, I could have gone seen it then. But maybe a better release date. I get it. They wanted to come out sometime because summer big blockbuster they wanted it to be. It did make money, but just on a $150 million budget, or it's estimated to be maybe $137 million. It only made $265.5 million worldwide, so it somewhat mildly, I guess, surpassed its budget. It didn't make as money, I guess, as they wanted to. That's why we didn't get another Incredible Hulk movie, which is a shame. I mean, we got a Planet Hulk, but that was a Marvel part of the Marvel animated feature films. That was an animated cartoon movie, so yeah. But we did get him in the Avengers, so and wouldn't have happened without the movie. And better than Annalise, I'm better than I would say Edward Norton and Bill Bixby. Well, Bill Bixby is my favorite Banner. Always will be. Don't care if his name's David or not, but I would say him and Edward Norton are my favorites. And I like the one in the anime series too. My least favorite though is Eric Bana. I do like Mark Ruffalo, but I prefer Edward Norton. I think he's better. That's just my opinion. But what they did with the Hulk and Endgame, him talking, that was just too silly. It's like that movie kind of those Avengers, Infinity War and Endgame. They ruined Hulk for me, in my opinion. I'm like, you ruined him and everything. Like this movie, they did good Hulk. I just think it came out in bad timing. And maybe after Iron Man, this movie was right around the corner, so maybe they came out a little too quickly. You know, maybe it came out too quickly. Maybe they should have given a couple months to settle it down. If not some of the issues behind the scenes, I don't know what that, folks. If Edward Norton had all that attitude, I can't say that for sure because I wasn't there. I didn't witness it. I can't say Norton had an attitude. I've never met the man, so I don't know how his behavior was. Unless you were there to see it, for yourself. I wasn't. Just because I hear stuff doesn't. Just because you hear stuff that doesn't mean it's always true. Can't believe everything you just read or hear. I don't. But yeah, I think the film didn't get so good reviews. The Incredible Hulk may not be quite the smash success the fans of Marvels might hope for, but it offers more than enough big screen action. It should have been a smash hit. It deserved to be. Once there's improvements over Annalise Hope, which I agree with. Roger Ebert wasn't a fan of the film, stating, "The Incredible Hulk is no doubt an ideal version of the Hulk saga. For those who found Annalise Hulk too talky, or dare I say, too thoughtful, but not for me. It sidesteps the entire aspects of Hulkdom and spends too much time in, dare I say, noisy and mindless action sequences. Well, that's what we want out of a Hulk movie. Yeah. What did you get out of that? I mean, no disrespect to Roger Ebert. What was Emily Holt? That was boring. That hardly had any action. That was lame. I didn't like this one just because the action. I liked it because of the story. But we want Hulk. We want to see Hulk smash. That's what you want to see. You know. Yeah. You know. Let's see. But the plot synopsis, well, what the story is about. Hold on, let me get to that. Am I doing my water? Okay, I'm sorry. All right. I got to this before, but anyway, what the story of the Incredible Hulk is about is that in this movie, scientist Bruce Banner, played by Edward Norton, desperately hunts for a cure for gamma radiation, to the gamma radiation that poisons his cells and unleashes the unforgettable force of rage within him. Hulk, living in the shadows, cut off from life, he knew the woman he loves, Betty Ross. Banner struggles to avoid this as a pursuit of his nemesis, General Thunderbolt Ross, Betty's father, and then played by William Hurt, and Betty, who was played by Liv Tyler. They seek to capture him and brutally exploit his power. As all the three grapple with the secrets that led to Hulk's creation, they're confronted with a monstrous new adversary known as the Abomination, who's a male Blonsky who becomes the Abomination, whose destructive strength exceeds even Hulk's own. One scientist must exceed even Hulk's own. Whose destructive strength exceeds even Hulk's own. One scientist must make a final choice: accept a peaceful life as Bruce Banner, or find heroism in the creature that he holds that he holds inside. Make the Hulk a hero and take on this adversary, the Abomination, which is going to be a hard fight and have a showdown with the Hulk and, prove that Hulk can be a hero, be the monster within, the Incredible Hulk. So that's the plot in a nutshell for you, a little bit. If you've seen the TV series, you probably guess what the plot is about. But before I talk about that, I'll just talk about the movie itself, maybe read a bit of quotes from the movie. Yeah, maybe I'll do that and give my final thoughts and opinion on this film. But the movie opens with Bruce Banner when he's testing generation on himself. It's basically what the opening is out. Like I said, we don't get an origin story. We had that with Alien Hulk and that didn't work. But there is the deleted scene where he's in Alaska or whatever. Bruce, has a gun and is gonna shoot himself in the mouth, or well, attempting to, but the Hulk comes out and spits the bullet out, or just throws the gun away and causes an avalanche. But what happens is Bruce just getting ready himself. You see him, in the machine, looking at Betty like it's gonna be okay. This camera might help, and basically he transforms into this is just a nice opening. I like it. One of the best things about Emily's Hope that I like most. I like in that film, even though I hate it and I think it's a boring movie. I do like Danny Elfman's score, but I like the score better. The score is a bit more monstrous, but there are times where Danny Elfman's score where it's weird, not where this is like kind of a monstrous theme, which really fits the character. I felt like it had kind of I can't do it right, but it did have a good theme in there by Greg Armstrong. You know, Hulk can be a dramatic character, but it's not sincerely just a drama. Uh, but he's transformed into the Hulk. He accidentally hurts Betty and her father Ross, and Banner's forced to go on the run for years because you have Ross getting on to him and yelling at him about hurting Betty. But you find out that General real purpose is he wants to take his power and exploit it, create some new soldiers and all that stuff. So Banner runs away. He runs for he's disappeared for 5 years. He finds himself a home in Brazil 5 years later, having a dream and having a nightmare. He works at a soft drink bottle factory, and he learns he's fighting with this guy who's teaching him how to fight. And Bruce has this watch that's like it ticks, and it helps him being the Hulk. He learns how to breathe in and out and control his techniques to control being the Hulk. And the guy slaps him a couple times, and Bruce is like, hold on. He's just testing that out to ward off the transformation. He's trying to find a cure. He's contacted this guy named Mr. Blue, who Madeline Benner has not had an incident for like 5 months. Banner's working. His boss in the factory gets his attention, uses him to fix a machine, which Bruce does. but he cuts himself real quick to stop the machine. He thinks he gets the blood, but he didn't get it. He tries to make sure no trace of him where the army can find him, but the blood is already in the drink. But eventually, you have the cameo by Stan Lee where he drinks the cup that Banner's blood was in. So they test the blood and they find out that he's in Brazil. They send, and Ross says, "Let's go after him. Let's go get him." And they get the British special ops expert Emil Blonsky and attach him to Banner. And I like it though. Blonsky is a fighter. He likes to fight. He likes being a soldier. And he ask him, "Is he a fighter?" He's accused of treason and all that stuff. It doesn't matter if he's a fighter. Your job is just to get him. And like when Bruce is learning language and talking to his dog, he's doing his scientist work trying to find a cure, but he doesn't have enough data. He can only, Mr. Blue says, "I need data. I can't help you." And he's like, "Fine, I'll have to." Banner says that he has to go back home to America, even though it's a bit of a risk for him. But he wants this cure. This girl's getting picked on by these bullies. We know who they try to fight him later. But first of all, he tries to talk to them. He's like, "Ma'am, you want to go to lunch with me?" He's like, "Go away, Gringo." He's like, "Excuse me?" He's like, "Go away." He's like, "You don't." In the Brazil language, he says, how host says, "Don't make me angry. You won't let me angry." He says, "You won't like you don't make me hungry. You won't like me when I'm hungry." And they're like, "Oh, oh." Like what? And they try to fight Banner, but the boss stops them. And Bruce gets his lady to safety. Bruce is getting ready to go, and the military Blonsky and his team, they're tracking the camera there, but the dog like bites the camera. So instead of going Banner knows this, he tricks them. They try to shoot him with these darts just to pass him out. They shoot the dog, which I hate him Blonsky for shooting the dog like that. Yeah, I don't. Well, hopefully it's not a real dog anyway. But Banner's able to get help from the lady. He's running and he's having a break because he's getting too excited, too overwhelmed, and with the time being, that means he'll transform into the Hulk. So he's trying to avoid that the best he can. And he runs to the gang of thugs. He's like, "You gotta be kidding me!" And they try to punch him. He pushes them around. They try to sneak in. They try to find him. He's trying to run from the military. They find Bruce though. They beat him. It's like he sees that they're here. The military's here. The parents shoot at him. They shoot one of the guys down with an arrow, and they start beating up on Bruce. And he just loses control, and his eyes turn gray. Like, yeah, and they push him, and of course he hulks out. And what I love about this scene though is I know if you watch the trailer, you will see Hulk. Of course, I hate to tell you that. When this movie came out, you probably do remember when the trailer came out. They let you see Hulk. But what I love about the transformation here is what they do is they're trying to hide it. They're like keeping it in the dark and trying to like creep you out, like keep holding the chair. He like grabs the guy, and when the military comes over, Hulk is throwing stuff at them. They don't know what they're shooting at. It's scary. They can't see it. Like you hear Hulk, the way he roars is scary, and you like have the smoke, and he throws his forklift, and then it's like I like that it's all in the dark, but it's not alone as only and Lisa because you can see what's going on, and it's kind of like building a bit of a suspense too, which I like about it. And when you see the way the Hulk looks, he looks awesome, especially in the dark. He's Emil Blunt starts shooting at him with the machine gun. The Hulk looks at him, you know, and just throws his forklift at him, almost nearly kills him. But Hulk gets away. They investigate Hulk, Banner's apartment that he was staying in, and he's trying to Malevolence trying to get questions out of the general, trying to ask Ross, Thunderbolt, trying to ask Ross, what was that? He's like, I don't know what the heck that thing was. It threw the thing like a, it's the most weird, bizarre thing I've ever seen. It threw the thing like it was a freaking, it threw a forklift like it was a baseball. I'm gonna find Banner. I'm gonna put my throat down and ask him. He's like, that was Banner. It was Banner. He's like, so you're gonna explain more of that? I was like, no, I don't. Just get your team out of here. He doesn't want to. He's general. He doesn't have to explain anything to him. Banner escape. Yeah, Bruce. Hulk goes somewhere. He transforms back into Bruce. He's in Guatemala, in the U.S. and he asks this guy for help. And I like it when he's just sitting there like he's homeless, and some girl gives him some money. That was a good scene. And or when Emil was talking to General and he tells him the story of how Banner became Hulk, that he tried to work on this gamma ration. He was so sure about this gamma ray he tested on himself, but he was wrong, very wrong, and something went very wrong, and he turned into this Hulk monster. And we've been after him for 5 years. And Banner tries to get the super. He gets the super soldier serum. He asks, Blonsky willing to do it, and they, the most intense scene when they put the serum in him and they give him a shot, but and the bone part and the parts of his bones, that's really and he can feel that pain. I don't want to think about how that can feel. That'd be painful. But they give it to him. Bruce goes back to America. He finds Betty Ross that she's studying at Covert University, but she's dating a guy named Leonard Larson. Banner's got a friend named Stanley Laver, who's owns a place called Stanley's Pizza. Banner goes to him, asks him about him. He tells Banner about it, and he lets Banner sleep. He gives him a job as a delivery boy. But he uses the job to continue his research. He sneaks past the security guard, which is the security guard's a cameo by Lou Ferrigno. He's like, I can't let you in there, pal. He's like, well, I can give you a free pizza here. He's like, all right, go in there for a minute. And he's able to tell him that he lost some of the data. He's like, that data can't have. He's like, so Bruce realizes he's got to get the data. Uh, Bruce has to leave again, but Ross, Betty shows up with, yeah, she's been dating Leonard. They just talk, and he sees Bruce and proceeds, but he walks away. He's ever humble trash, and he's like, Bruce, tell me, if was that, was I think was that Bruce? He's like, yes. And she drives to Bruce, and he's in the rain. She gives him like, don't go away, don't leave, just come with me. And she takes him to his house, to her house, just to hide him, to help him out. Yeah. But Bruce can't really sleep with Betty. He can't really have sex with her without getting excited. If he gets excited, he turns to the Hulk. So he has to sleep in a room of his own. And you see the two are, shots of them, in their beds, like they want to really be together, but they can't be because of being Hulk. But Bruce is used to just being alone. He's been alone for 5 years, for a very long time. So 5 years must have been a very long time for Bruce. But she's gonna take him to the bus, and he's gonna leave. But Dumber finds again, once he leaves, second this time he got the shots and stuff. He gave him super soldier to him. They encounter Hulk. Well, Banner's got the data on a chip, and he swallows the chip, the data chip, whatever you want to call it, hard drive. He swallows the hard drive in his mouth. The military chases him. Says, "Buddy, get far me special." He's like, "Go," and he runs. Yeah, I guess this scene where he's running from the military. They trap him in the house in this area in a glass. They shoot like smoke grenades in there just to pass him out. Uses his shirt. Betty tries to run to him. One of the military men attack her. She punches one guy. Gives him a right good hook. She's able to talk to her father, talk to Ross. Betty tries to run. She punches one out. And one guy tackles her to the ground and he gets mad and he tries to hold. That's when he has the trailer. The second Hulk out. Where, Hulk jumps, breaks the window, jumps out and him roar. That was an epic scene. Then he starts to fight the military. They try to shoot at him. He's able to punch one away. Hulk can also punch one away, and he's, using weapons. He'll use a corporate core, get in two parts, hit him a bit, tax the military a bit. And Emil Blonsky's like, "You remember me?" So they shoot at him, and they fight a bit, and Hulk is just trying to crush him with the stuff, and Blonsky's like, "Move quick," and he's like, "Wow, he's doing it." Even though he's not strong to physically take on the Hulk, he can move fast and quickly, and has that agility to move quick. Because when he's running, all the other soldiers can't keep up with him. But he gets Hulk to chase him down. They use these sonic beams to try to attack Hulk, and Hulk is like, trying to get away, and he sees Betty in trouble, and that encourages him to and Hulk throws some throws a part of the car at the sonic beam, destroys it, and destroys the other one. Meanwhile, they try to use him as a target to blow him up. But Betty gets too close. He's like, stop shooting at Betty. They're shooting at him. And, Hulk throws the other piece of the car at it. And he protects Betty from getting injured. She nearly gets killed. But Hulk is able to save her. And she ends up being fine. And she's past the Hulk Scott and he's looking at Ross. He's like, and then he goes away. It's raining at nighttime. Well, you find out that it was Leonard that called them because he thought that Betty was in trouble by a criminal. But he sees all the banner that Hulk is in a bag at all different college students that videotape the whole fighting and stuff. But what happened is, he's like, I can take your line. You don't have good intentions. I can tell that. He's like, where did she meet these guys? Which I thought was funny. But then you have Hulk, who's in the rain, sees her and she like, such so serious, and she's like, Bruce, and he gives her a look. He gets shot by lightning, and the Hulk wants to throws a rock and is roaring at the lightning. He's telling Betty, ugh. He doesn't understand, but she gets him to calm down. It's like, just sit down. It's okay. We're okay. We're okay. And the next morning, he transfers back into Bruce. They go to a hotel, and he takes a shower. He's able to get the hard drive out of him. I guess he coughs it out or shits it out. I don't know. We don't see it, but anyway, I don't want to see it anyway. But cause there's a scene about where they're about to make love, but he's like, I can't do it. No, I can't do it. I can't get too excited. He's like, it's okay. So that was funny. And she's like, okay, we can't use credit cards or anything like that, or phones. Don't even turn that thing on. You can use your lip gloss and bring your sunglasses. They can't trace that. But, uh, Bruce and Betty, they go to New York City. Well, first they're trying to drive there. She talks to him about being the Hulk at first. She's like, well, Bruce, it feels like that monster had a good conscience. He's like, that no, this is just a bad monster, evil monster. I don't want to control it. I want this thing out of me. And he still, searches for a cure. Doesn't want to listen. Banner, and Banner, he wakes up because Banner he has these flashes. He can't remember being Hulk, but there are times in the movie where he's either dreaming or in the shower, like his machine gun shooting at him, or he's in the truck, he's sleeping. He can have memories of being the Hulk, like these flashbacks, hallucinations. That's like when he transforms. He sees that the cops are there and they're probably searching for him, so they just walk out of traffic, and all they had to do is walk. They try to take a cab. Betty gets angry. She's like, "Are you a freaking psycho or something?" He's like, "Come on, baby, like that." She's like, "Oh," it's like Banner's like, Bruce says, "But I know some air snippers that can help you out. Anyway, she needs some help with that." He's like, "Don't you start. We're walking." Okay, thought that was funny. And they meet Mr. Blue, who's revealed to be Samuel Stern's Tim Blake Nelson. Stern invented a potential antidote, a cure, and Banner accepts it, but despite the risk. And they talk about it's like, I don't know how could you live with that, with this person that I meet around and shake hands with, this power lurking inside him. He's like, no, I want to get rid of it. But was successfully researched through Stern's antidote. He basically, they put him on a gurney, chain him up, tie him up. He's restrained, and he shocks him in the head, like gives him electroshock therapy in the head. And then that's where he hulks out, you know, the fourth Hulk, I would say third Hulk out. But this one time, nearly, Dan Samuel was like, Samuel was like, wow, he's so great, awesome. Well, he's like, this is amazing. He's so amazed by it that Betty has to yell at him like 3 times to turn it off, turn it off. He gets hit by the Hulk, but he's able to, control Hulk down. Says, Bruce, it's okay, it's okay. Then Kiss was like, ah, then turns back into Bruce. He reveals that he synthesized Banner's blood into a large supply and helps to use it for the next stage of human evolution. Banner tries to convince him, though, not to do it, that he want, we can get more of this. I mean, this could be something brand new for science. Because I know you understand, you cannot control this thing, but by the military is able to track him down. But yeah, I mentioned, though, the fight at the university, at the college, they had with Blonsky. Blonsky was like, is that all you got? Is that all you, is that all you got? And then Hulk, like, kicks him. Doesn't kill him, just knocks him out. But he wakes up, he's like pissed off right round three, and they don't take him to New York, and he's pissed, and he's like, how do you feel, Emil? Blonsky, how do you feel? He's like a monster. But the military is tracking down. They tranquilize Bruce from one of Ross's snipers. They shoot him with a dart, and Emil Blonsky shows up. You know, pushes Betty out of the way and starts slapping Hulk. I mean, slaps Bruce before he turns over. He's like, "You bitch him power. You better take it away. You better take it away." Knocks him out. They take him into custody, and Ross says, "If you got rid of that Hulk, if you got rid of it, I'll put you in a cage for your natural for the rest of your life." Excuse me. And Betty says, "I will never forgive what you did to him." I was like, "You wouldn't understand." And he says, "It's only that you're my daughter that you're not in handcuffs because you are aiding a fugitive." Anyway, the lady, this one of the General Ross impersonator. She's talking to Samuel Template Nelson about where the super soldier serum, the super soldier serum and gamma reaction together could create an abomination. Well, it could be very dangerous, but Emil kills her. Blonsky says, "I want that power." What he wants, he wants guns like, "It's not what you know. It's what you're gonna do. I want that. You're gonna give it to me." He's like, "Okay, I'll do it." And he tells him it could be in a. It's like you got something inside you already, Blonsky. Maybe an abomination. It transforms Blonsky into a Hulk-like monster who knocks Stearns into a sample of Banner's blood, which makes him the leader. And he goes through a rampage throughout Harlem, as the Abomination. And he wants to throw the Hulk out. The military trying to find like, what is that? He's knocking, he's hurting people. He's hurting some of the military, just pushing car stuff. He's like, you know, they try to shoot fire. They try to shoot a missile at him. He's like, "Booyah, baby, take this missile." They try to shoot him a missile, but the guy's missile was like, hits it to himself. He's like, knocks him down. He's like, "Give me a real fight." And Vader's like to Ross, "What have you done?" And they're on the plane. I forgot to mention, they're like flirting together a little bit. But when the attack starts to happen, Bruce is like, "Why are we turning back?" And they see on camera what's happening. He's like, "You gotta let me go down. You gotta let the Hulk come out." You know, we all created this abomination. Now we have to stop him. And this is where Hulk has to fight against them. You know, he tells Betty, "I'm gonna have to do this. I'm gonna have to jump down here." Well, they're like, I don't know, what are they, 80 feet in the air or something like that? I don't know. But despite the fears that he's cured himself of Hulk permanently, Banner's given permission to fight Polanski and jumps over General Ross's helicopter. And, he does. He gets Betty kid. He's like, "You don't even know if you're transformed, but, this is insane." He's like, "I gotta try, Betty. I gotta try." And he jumps down and he's like this. And the German is where he's like this. Oh, But he lands on the ground. But eventually Hulk does come out. And that's where he pulls the jacket off. And then that's when you get the whole scene of Hulk just roaring. You know, that land an abomination is like, "Hulk." And let him know he's there. They roar at each other and they, have a chase in with each other like you saw in the trailer. They jump each other, but Abomination is a bit stronger. He's able to knock Hulk down and, you know, kind of throw him like he's throwing a softball around, or a rag doll. And Hulk is like, "Oh, oh." And Hulk destroys a police car, picks him up, fights him with him a bit, and Hulk nearly takes him down. Is about to give him a punch, but Abomination kicks him real hard, knocks Hulk a bit out. He's trying to look for the Hulk in the buildings, and Ross wants to give him help, so Hulk helps. So he's like, "You see Abomination, him shreds." He's like, "Ross!" Jumps on the plane. The Hulk tries to grab him, but Abomination does pin him a couple times to get him away. But the plane crashes. They don't. Well, some of the men die. So Betty and General Ross don't die. They're just knocked out. And Hulk is nearly tired out. And but Abomination comes along. He's like, they fight more. And Abomination's like, pieces of his body that stabs Hulk, and they fight more. And he punches Hulk. He's like, "You don't deserve it." Until Hulk, Hulk Abomination says, "Hulk, you don't deserve this power." You know, comes close to killing him. Till Hulk is able to fight back and knock him out a bit. She's betting them that they're safe. And she's like, look at, he's grabbed this chain. He hits Hulk with the chain twice, knocking Hulk out. Yeah. But that's because Hulk got stopped. Well, because the plane was about to get on fire, so Hulk just does this thunderclap. You know, he starts the fire, but that's when he gets hit by the chain before Abomination can finally kill them for good. Hulk does this, which I love. Oh, smash! And it was awesome to hear him say that. That was epic. That'd been great to hear in the theater. Screaming a song on the cruise ship as well. When I saw this movie on the cruise, and he brings it down, punches it, and he gets chain lands on him, and Hulk attacks him with the chain because it's the only way the Hulk took knows the Abomination is so dangerous. But Hulk knocks him out, just chokes him out. He's close to killing him, but he's like, "Stop! Don't kill him!" And Hulk doesn't kill him. I would say Blonsky's one of the main Marvel villains that doesn't die, just gets knocked out. I mean, not all the Marvel villains die, and Blonsky's one of them. Abomination's not one of them that dies, but he does go to jail, of course. Hulk knocks him out, and Hulk does that roar, goes to bed. She's crying, and he touches her hair. He's like, "Betsy," and the military's coming. Hulk runs away. Good music there, and Betty's looking at this picture she took of Bruce and a little battery of it, but she knows Bruce is still alive out there somewhere. And it's 31 days later. Bears in British Columbia trying to learn how to control his transformation instead of curing them. So it's like he's decided to be in the Hulk. Like when he smiles and he, you know, smile, and his eyes turn green. That was cool. Again, before we get to the end of it, though, give it where Tony Stark attempts to recruit Abomination, or to recruit Hulk himself. I reckon. Why would you recruit Abomination? Or Abomination's a villain? Well, they tried to recruit him, but they realized that he was too dangerous. But anyway, you do have Robert Downey Jr. making a cameo. Iron Man 2 will be the next after this, by the way. But anyway, and it's like, well, General, and that's how defeat is. And I was like, oh, you got a nice suit. It's like, same to you. You got a nice suit as well, General. And Stark is like, well, what do you need me for something? That super soldier serum, we put on ice for a reason. He's like, well, we're forming it, sir. What we're doing is form a team, and of course, talking about the Avengers. Like I said, Marvel's building up nicely. You see, that's the problem with the DCU. Even though I love Man of Steel, you could have had the other DC characters, DC heroes, have their own movies. You build up to it. This is what I love about Marvel, though. When they started off, they really were working on building the Avengers up. We didn't get Avengers movie too quickly. We got some other characters movies like this. Of course, you had Iron Man 2, and you also had Thor. Thor and Captain America had their own movies, and then we got the Avengers. Then after that, we got some other movies, Avengers sequels. Then we got some other, Marvel characters that came out. Marvel did it very nicely over the years. It felt like it took a lot of time. They took their time with coming out with Marvel characters, you know, and Iron Man really started that. But that was the end of the Incredible Hulk, by the way. Yeah, that's with the Tony, then you get the end credits and the movie's over. But that's the Incredible Hulk. Yeah. Let me give my final opinion on this movie. I'll drink the rest of this water. Okay. Let me give my the rest of my opinion on this movie. Don't make me hungry. You won't like me when I'm hungry. When he was in, he said, "Wait, that's not right." I've run into bad situations. Won't crap match before. I've seen good men go down because someone didn't let us know what we were walking into. I moved on to the next one because that's what we do, right? I mean, that's the job. But this is a whole new level of weird. I don't need to incline to step away from it. So if you're taking another crack at him, I want in. And with respect, sir, you should be looking for a team that's prepped and ready to fight because if that thing shows up again, you're going to have a lot of professional, tough guys pissing in their pants, sir. You don't deserve this power. Well, if Banner knows what it is, I'm going to check it down. I'm going to put my foot on the store. That was Banner. It was Banner. You have to explain that to her. No, I don't. You done a good job. Pack up and go your men on the plane. We're going home. Anyway, I don't want to be any more quotes to that one hour, and then I think I'm. Well, let me finish up with this review by giving my final opinion on this movie. I love The Incredible. And what do I think that it improved? That why I like it more than Aliens? First of all, I love the film's story. I think Lewis Leiter, I can't say his name right, he's a great director. And despite I would never want to see his Fast 10 movies or Fast 11. I don't care to see those films; those too cartoony. But this film, he did a good job directing. The thing is, it's not boring. It tells a good story. I like seeing how Banner's trying to cure himself. I like that they not a TV show that. That's what Bruce Banner does. He's on the run. He's trying to find a cure. You know, it's hard for him to accept being a monster because it's like he doesn't really get a life. And you know, Bruce didn't want to become the Hulk. He doesn't lust for power. It was just a gamma ray. It was just a gamma radiation accident that turned him into the Hulk. And deep down, he is a good person. And the Hulk, even though you say the Hulk likes a monster, he is a hero. You know, when he protected Betty, protected the people, Hulk is a hero. But he's just, monster like for, to scare you. But the thing is, difference between Emil Blonsky is a crazy guy and loves to fight and is brutal, and he's really cruel. And when he gets the power of becoming the abomination, he wants more of it. He lusts for that power, and that's how he becomes the abomination. Becomes really dangerous. And the film has good action scenes. There's four. Well, I would say the four Hulk, the third Hulk out, he's just restrained. But when we get these Hulk outs, though, I love the first Hulk out when he's, it's like they're building the suspense. It's in the dark a little bit, but you can still see what's going on. And the Hulk looks great when you see him just space for the first time. That's intense. Hulk looks scary, like a monster. I don't care what nobody says. This is the best Hulk movie because of not just the action, but the story's really good. Like he's meeting Mr. Blue. He's trying to find a cure for himself. I thought Edward Norton did a good job. I thought the cast did a good job. I loved Edward Norton. He's underrated. I think he's really good. If he did have those issues, I don't care. It seems like he was really committed to actually making a good Hulk movie, and that they were trying to avoid what Annalise Hulk failed to do. They did. They improved on the story. They improved on the action. You know, I'm glad they didn't listen to Norton too much. If you didn't need to make it long, it's only 1 hour and 15 minutes. Maybe I wouldn't mind a little bit of a more length for the movie. You know, But Liv Tyler, she was fine. She did a good job. She's a beautiful woman. I like Jennifer Connelly, but there's moments in that movie where she's good, and it seems like she's kind of just giving these Joan Julie zombie-like faces in the movie. I'm talking about Jennifer Connelly, and I love Sam Elliott. Don't get me wrong, great actor, but as Ross in that movie, it seems like he was doing it for the paycheck. And William Hurt, I thought, did a great job. And there are moments where he cares for his daughters, but he could be cruel as well because he's a villain. Tim Blake Nelson was good. Ty Burrell was good. It's a really good cast. You know, Martin Starr plays a college student because he's a computer nerd. He's also, in the Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man Far From Home, and No Way Home. Let's see, Martin Starr. Was he in Freaks and Geeks? Okay, yeah, he was in Freaks and Geeks, yeah. He was in the Spider-Man trilogy, Tom Holland Spider-Man trilogy. Good actor, in my opinion. Yeah, that was fun to see him in here. He's just looking at Bruce, smiling with the pizza. But a really good cast. I love Tony Stark's cameo, building up to the Avengers. The plot's really good. The story goes by at a good pace. It doesn't bore me. They didn't need to tell an origin story. We already had that. An origin story can work. Like Superman the movie, it works. Batman '89 doesn't have an origin story, but and it works. This movie doesn't have an origin story, and hey, it works. Not every superhero movie does, but the ones that do, like Iron Man, had an origin story, and that worked. But we didn't need to see an origin again for the Hulk. You know, we had one for the first Spider-Man movie, and that was good. But you don't need an. I don't think you need an origin story all the time. You can hint at it, but if you already know the character and how they became that hero or anti-hero, whatever you want to call it, you already know about Hulk became Hulk by gamma reaction. We don't need to explain all that. You don't need to dive into his psyche of his daddy issues. That's the thing. The action is well shot. The special effects. I love the how the abomination and the Hulk looks. I love the look of the Hulk. The Hulk looks great. Looks menacing. Looks terrifying. He looks awesome. Seeing him in broad daylight though, when he starts that college right when he jumps out of the window, and roars. That was cool. That was awesome. Or when he says Hulk smash, because you get Hulk smashing quite a bit. smashing cars up, using cars to fight, using objects to fight, which I thought was cool. Running really fight fast, or getting into an awesome fight with Abomination. Abomination is more of a threat. Yeah, Eric Bana, Jim Foley, their chemistry wasn't working, but Liv Tyler and Edward Norton, I thought they had good chemistry. It's better done here. The story moves at a fast pace. It doesn't bore me. It doesn't come off being weird. It's like it knows what it is. The tone of the story really works about a man trying to cure the monster within himself, and then at the end, I believe he accepted it. Even though when the Avengers, Marvel was like, "Oh, I don't like being the Hulk," and what you heard about me, I'm like, "You figure about this movie? Did they just ignore this movie and say, well, that didn't happen?" Yes, it did happen, Marvel. You can't ignore what happened. You had a good film here, but I guess because it didn't wasn't huge box office success, Marvel was like, just pretty off like, nah, forget it. Which sucks though. This movie definitely deserves to be considered one of the best superhero films ever made. I think one of the best Marvel films. I think Marvel films made ever made too. I think it's one of the best in my opinion. It's better than Annalise Holt because it's not boring. I don't care if Edward Norton did the behind this. That doesn't deteriorate me from watching the movie. I can still enjoy a superhero movie. Like I love Batman for despite of how Kimmer was being a jerk or whatever. You can hear many stories like that. But unless you were there to witness it, then all those are just rumors. That's just hearsay. It's just hearsay. You can't really prove that, especially if you weren't there. But the Incredible Hulk, awesome movie, great film. And also you can see the action scenes. Clearly, they're not crappy CGI. It's not because Annalise Hulk, everything's like pitch black dark and you can't see what's going on. Yeah, and it takes forever to see Hulk. This is like you see Hulk within the first 15 minutes. It felt like 15 minutes. Something like that. We see him, and you know, it's a shame that we didn't get more Hulk in the movie. That'd been nice, but still, even though we get the Hulk, those Hulk are still awesome in the movie. Hey, you don't get a lot in the show either. Yeah, you don't, but you do see Hulk smash a couple times in those episodes. I do have the Incredible Hulk TV series. I'm gonna watch that eventually with Lou Ferrigno and the late Bill Bixby because that's a good show. Avoid Annalise Hulk. That's terrible. Avoid She, Turner Hulk, and despite how I feel about Hulk, Bruce Banner, and Infinity War and Endgame, I still like those movies. Though I felt like they ruined Hulk in those movies. They did Hulk justice in this, and then you screw him up to have him talk like a scientist, talking and chatting, and that was just ridiculous. That was just stupid. Yeah. This to me is the best Hulk movie. This is the best the Hulk has ever looked. I would say second best. I still think he's the best. I think Lou Ferrigno for me is still the best Hulk, in my personal opinion. This is second best. But in CGI form of 2000s, yeah, this is the best looking Hulk. I like the way he looks in Avengers 2. Don't get me wrong, the first Avengers 2 movies. Infinity War and Endgame, I don't like it, but I do love the Hulk in the first Avengers movie and Age of Ultron. They do good Hulk within those movies. He does look good. My complaining, but this is my favorite looking version of the Hulk. Very awesome to look at. Such an underrated movie. I can't, get special effects, good story, good directing and writing, the editing, cinematography is very nice, and the film does have humor, though it's not completely serious. That's what was lacking in the Annalise Hulk. And there are no comic panels. Like Annalise Hulk has too many comic panels that's distracting in the story. You didn't need that. Yeah, Ann Lee was the wrong guy for the job. Louis Leiter, he was the right guy for the job. You needed people who worked on this movie, who knew what they were doing with Hulk, and they knew what they were doing with the character. You know, and if everyone did come up with some good ideas, they should have maybe listened to them. I'd be interested in what they were gonna. I wanted to see what if there's a bit of a director's cut out there for this movie, it deserves one. I'd love to see a bit of a bit of a minutes long movie, because who knows what would have been despite the issues. Maybe if they just would have gotten along on set and people would calm their egos down, calm down a little bit, really work hard on it, you could have yourself a great movie, and it probably would have been a bigger hit if they maybe would have taken the time and not rush things. I get it. Marvel was like, we're having Iron Man. Iron Man was successful. We need to come out with this really quick. So maybe this movie just had a bit of bad timing when it came out. That's what I'm guessing. You know, a bit of bad timing. But still, despite that, though, I still love this movie. Still the best Hulk movie. Really underrated film, in my opinion. I do not get the hate for it. I don't get it's the black sheep of the MCU franchise. It's a lot better than some of the other Marvel movies. It's better than Black Widow or the Strange Multiverse of Madness, in my opinion, at least. Yeah. Well, no, I like Doctor Strange too, but I say I like Hulk more, Bruce Banner as a character more. But that's just me. But this movie's awesome, underrated. Love the Incredible Hulk. My rating for this film, I'm gonna give it 5 out of 5 stars and a thumbs up for the Incredible Hulk. So awesome movie. So tell me guys in the comments down below, what do you think of the Incredible Hulk starring Edward Norton in your opinion? And who's your favorite actor to play Bruce Banner? Uh, my favorite is Bill Bixby. Second is Edward Norton. And who's your least favorite actor to play him? And also, what is your favorite Hulk movie? Which Hulk movie do you prefer in your opinion? Ang Lee's Hulk or this film? I prefer this movie personally. That's just me. And to each his own. If you prefer Ang Lee's Hulk, I mean, we can agree to disagree. Just tell me in the comments down below. All right. And again, my rating for the film is 5 out of 5 stars and a thumbs up. All right. I'm done with the review. All right. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. All right. Stay tuned, guys, for the next review. Superhero movie. This is not Marvel or DC, but it's still a superhero film, so it counts. That stars Will Smith, Charlize Theron, and Jason Bateman, and directed by Peter Berg, and that is Hancock. You know, Hancock. I know this is weird. That came out July 2nd, so July. Yeah, but Hancock is next, starring Will Smith and Charlize Theron and Jason Bateman. I'll put it there, but yeah. So guys, let me know what you thought of the Incredible Hulk movie in your opinion, and stay tuned for my next super review, which is Hancock. So that'll be next. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.